Hello and welcome to the first episode of the IFAE Tutorial series. I am Nate and I'll be going over Supermaneuverability in the F-22 Raptor. Now, Supermaneuverability is an aircraft's ability to maintain control while performing maneuvers in situations in ways exceeding those that are possible using purely aerodynamic mechanisms, like flaps and elevators. How the Raptor achieves supermaneuverability is through thrust vectoring. Thrust vectoring pushes the tail around in any direction you want, even when the elevons are doing nothing, as in post-stall or loss of control conditions. It's not the air that's pushing you around, it's thrust. So rest easy in the cockpit, you're not going to crash anytime soon, or just be a show-off, flip around, show your enemy what you are made of. Allow me to introduce you to the first maneuver that we'll learn. It is a half-stall flip at the tip of a climb, then a recovery over the center of the runway. It's part of our F-22 Raptor demonstrations you will probably see in infinite flight community-hosted air shows and events. For the sake of realism and entertainment, I'll add in some Raptor sounds and some narration to give you a first look and a feel for the maneuver.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the most feared aircraft in the infinite skies today, your IFAE Global Air Force's F-22 Raptor!
Here's a Raptor's eye view of the maneuver. Now, if you're going to do this yourself, I recommend keeping a close eye on the yoke and throttle. They are the biggest playing factors in doing this maneuver. So the brakes are off, I am on my way. I keep the throttle at 72 to 74% because that's just how I roll in taking off in these demonstrations. So rotate, gear up as soon as I leave the ground in a low transition. Now, at the center of the runway, you're going to pull up very, very hard with full throttle on to a 75 or 80 degree pitch angle and then let the powers go to idle. Now, just before the flip, you're going to pull briefly upwards and bleed off some of that airspeed, and at 90 knots, you're going to do the flip. Now, don't pull too hard while doing this flip. You're going to gain too much momentum and overshoot the negative 90 degree angle by a lot. So to counteract the movement of the flip, you're going to pitch down and let the thrust vectoring do the work. And once you got yourself stable, you can do a little roll and recover over show center. And that's the half stall flip and recovery for you. I'll show you more after this. Fooling around with Supermaneuverability post-stall offers so many new maneuver possibilities that it's almost like a form of art similar to that of dancing, except it's in the sky. This move here I call the helicopter because you get the resemblance. I'm interested to see what you have learned watching this first part of the tutorial. Tag our official demonstration team's account below and you could see your creative maneuver on their story. Here's part 2, the advanced section of this tutorial. So we're going to do a backflip, but not post-stall. Now I imagine you asking, how are we going to do that? The trick is, you're going to use the elevons to pull off that loss of control. That will put you into the backflip situation. Alright, enough cruising. It's time to do it. So, without further ado, I'll show you that it's entirely possible to do maneuvers like this. So now that you've seen it, it's time to hop back in the cockpit and show you exactly how it's done. In terms of speed, I find anywhere until 230 knots perfect for doing this kind of maneuver. Anywhere above that, you might increase your chances of not getting out of the control zone, as is the goal of this maneuver. Watch closely at the yoke. Here's the maneuver. Let's review the maneuver in slow motion. To induce a loss of control, your maneuvers have to be sharp. The maneuver first starts with a pull down, brief, like a flash. Following it is a very hard pull upwards. Then immediately, as soon as the aircraft's pitch rate is at its highest, pull back down. This in turn allows you to exploit a weird part of the flight model that allows you to lose control. And all this has to be done in a fraction of a second. And like I said before, pull down and use some throttle. That will counteract the movement of the flip. And a short disclaimer, don't expect the smoothest of recoveries. I'll leave you today with the one and only Pugachev's Cobra. Feel free to comment your feedback below, and share this video to someone who's ready to master the Raptor. We at Infinite Flight Aviation Experts thank you for watching this tutorial, and we hope to see you again very soon.